Self-care. I am going to give a few minutes for people to jump on here. I am coming to you to talk about not being a bee. Now, if you caught my live the other day, I did a live called Don't Be an A. And if you want to know what that A stands for, you got to check out the previous live I did. But in this case, today, I am talking about not being a bee. Um, and this was a conversation that stemmed from one of my friends I was talking to about her business. And I advised her not to be an A. And you can check out the replay from that live to find out what the A was. But we also talked about not being a B. And so I thought I would come on here and talk about this with you as well. So as you tune in, be sure to let me know where you are tuning in from. If you are catching this on the replay, be sure to let me know that you were here, hashtag replay, where you're watching from. And, you know, I am so committed to helping you create radical success in every area of your life. At the Radical Success Institute, we focus on helping you create an internal transformation so that you can experience external results. And having been a coach for over 12 years now, one of the things that I find to be a thread through the clients that I've worked with, through the people who've come to our events, one of these threads is that many people live in the realm of information gatherer, right? They read, they study, they Google, they gather data, they gather information so that they can have a better understanding of how to do what it is they want to do. But the challenge is, for many people, that is the end of the road. They're gathering data, they're getting information. Maybe they're even creating an action plan. Maybe they're even creating a to-do list. And then they kind of get stuck there. And what happens is they start to count, getting data, getting information, researching, reading, making action plans, making to-do lists. They start to count that activity as moving forward in achieving their goals. And at some point, you have to move from information gatherer to action taker. And so that's what we do at the Institute. We help people make that leap, make that transition, make that jump. And then once they get in action, our job is to make sure that you're focused on the right action, right? Because just because you're doing something doesn't mean you're doing the right thing to get you to where you want to be. And so we help you focus on the right action and then staying on track, staying focused, supporting you and holding you accountable. And so if that kind of resonates with you, let me know down in the comments that, yeah, I can see how there are some areas of my life that I have been an information gatherer more than I've been an action taker. And if that's you, I invite you to join us in Atlanta, March 20th through 22nd for our Get Radical Women's Conference. It is all about helping you get clarity around your goals, clarity around what information you need to go after your goals, and then the mindset shifts, the insights, the strategies so that you can move from just having that information to taking action. And so you can get details about our upcoming event at getradicalconference.com. I'm going to be there teaching around the mindset of creating radical success. We have some incredible keynotes from Nicole Ari Parker, actress and businesswoman, from Kelly Edwards, television host, adventure traveler, and a host of other people that are all there for one reason: to help you accelerate in your business, in your career, in your finances, in your own personal growth, to help you accelerate to your next level of success. And so I would love to see you in Atlanta. Go to getradicalconference.com for all the details. And so I'm talking to you today about don't be a bee. And if you think you know what the B might be, what it might stand for, let me know down in the comment section. This is what I think being a B means, what I'm talking about. If you're catching this on the replay, go ahead, put it down in the comments. Let us know what you think it is before I actually reveal it. And this is what I know. If you are a B, then you are stifling yourself. You're stifling your growth. You're stifling your productivity, and you're stifling being able to actually accelerate to that big vision, those big goals, that big dream that you have that you want to experience as soon as possible to get moving on making that vision, making those goals your reality. And so what do I mean when I say don't be a bee? What I mean is don't be basic. Don't be basic. And I'm talking about in any area of your life. Don't be basic in your business. Don't be basic with your career. Don't be basic with your finances. Don't be basic with your health. Don't be basic with your spirituality. Don't be basic with your personal growth. Just don't be basic. You know, I looked up the word basic, and basic is really meaning your starting point. Basic is really about your foundation. It is the place where you start. It's the core. And so if you haven't mastered the basics, then there's no way that you can accelerate up to extraordinary. There's no way that you can level up to incredible, to greatness. And so I want to encourage you today to don't be just basic. I want to encourage you to master the basics so that you can get to where you ultimately want to be. You know, and when I was talking to my friend about this, we started listing out what some of the basics could actually be in these different areas. And so I just want to share with you just to give you some food for thought so that you can decide, am I not mastering the basics? You know, I don't want to be a basic entrepreneur. I want to be extraordinary. I want to be great. I don't want to be a basic I don't want to be basic when it comes to my health and wellness. I want to excel in terms of taking care of my mind and my body and my spirit. I don't want to be basic when it comes to my business. I don't want to be basic when it comes to my money. And so here are a few tips that you can use to kind of self-assess whether you're kind of slipping into just being basic or if you haven't even mastered the basics. Because here's the thing, getting the basics mastered is just your starting point. It's just your foundation. And so we want to be able to move beyond the basics. So if you think about your career, if you're in corporate America, you know, some of the basics that should just be a part of your foundation, a part of your everyday life, is that you belong to your industry associations. You know, if you're in corporate America and you're in sales, you're in marketing, you're in human resources, you're in tech, there are some associations out there that can help you foster, develop, and grow your career. You should be a part of that. That's basic, right? When it comes to your career, you should have a plan for your professional development. Every year, you should have an annual plan. This is how I'm going to grow my skill set. This is my plan for growing my network. That should already be laid out for you. It's the basics, right? Showing up 100%, all in every day when you go to work. That is the basics. And so we have to remember that the basics is just the starting point. And being able to master that will help you accelerate your career much faster, right? Think about the basics in business. If you're an entrepreneur, right? There are some foundations, some basics that should be your starting point. You know, separating your finances, having business accounts versus personal accounts. That's basic. You know, your marketing strategy, knowing who your ideal client is, knowing what your offers are, what you sell. Basic. Having a strategy for making money, having daily activities to generate revenue, sales calls, enrollment calls, sending out proposals. Those are basics in business. And there's no way you can accelerate to your revenue goals, to your PR client goals. You can't accelerate that if you just don't get the basics down. And so we don't want to just be basic. We want to master the basics so we can move forward. How many of you feel like, yeah, you've got some basics to master? If you're in corporate America, you're thinking, there are some things I need to do baseline for my career. If you're an entrepreneur, there's some things I need to do baseline in my business. Let's think about your health. What are the basics that we should be doing every day, just as a starting point for our health? We always hear about drinking your water, right? Drinking, is it 8 glasses of water a day, 64 ounces? Basic. That shouldn't be a discussion. That shouldn't be, up for grabs. It should just be what you do. Getting in enough sleep shouldn't be up for grabs. Shouldn't be a little bit of sleep this day, a lot of sleep, a little bit. It should be basic. When you think about moving your body, exercising, 30 minutes a day, basic. Like, how are you ever going to build your strength? How are you ever going to meet those goals, of whether it's running a marathon or having your energy up or staying off of medicine or staying off of chronic illnesses if you don't master the basics of health? You can think about the basics of money, having a budget, saving, giving, living, below your means, building wealth, positioning yourself for investments. Like, that's basic. And so I'm just here to challenge you today to think about all of these different areas of your life and to decide what is going to be my baseline, the basics, the non-negotiables. It will be non-negotiable whether I drink my water, whether I do my workout. It would be non-negotiable whether I have my professional development plan, whether I have my industry association connections. Non-negotiable. It'll be non-negotiable whether I am marketing consistently, doing sales and enrollment calls consistently. Non-negotiable. And so when I talk about don't be a bee, meaning don't be just basic. Let's master the basics so that we can grow from there. These basics are really just your starting point. And so I would love to hear from some of you guys. If you're tuning in live, if you're catching this on the replay, if you look at some areas of your life, what are some things that what's at least one thing is basic to that area that you haven't quite mastered yet? If you think about your health, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're thinking about your money, let me hear down in the comments, what's that one area that okay, I'm going to master this. I'm not going to be basic in this area anymore. I just think that if we can set a baseline that we are determined not to fall below anymore, we can make a big difference in what we can accomplish in the coming weeks, in the coming month, and in this coming year. And so here's my charge for today. Here's my challenge for today. Don't be basic. Master the basics and move beyond. And so I would love to hear from you guys. What's your biggest aha? What's your biggest takeaway from our live today? I would love to hear from you. What is the one basic you're going to master? I would love it if you had some basics in every category that you were determined to master. But, don't set yourself up for failure. Don't go into overwhelm. Just choose one area. What will those basics be? Is it going to be in your career? Is it going to be in your business? Is it going to be around your money, your health, or maybe even your spiritual life? There are some basics when it comes to that. Basics. You have to, no more negotiations. I'm going to pray. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to spend time, if you're a faith-based person, I'm going to spend time with God, whatever that looks like for you, non-negotiable. What will be your non-negotiables in these areas of your life? Starting today. Like, we don't have to wait till, the next Monday. We don't have to wait till the first of the month. We can start today. And so I want to challenge you to master the basics so that you open yourself up for extraordinary. You open yourself up for greatness. Your business won't grow if the basics aren't mastered. Your career won't be developed if the basics aren't mastered. You won't build wealth if the basics aren't mastered. And so that is my challenge to you today. Let us master the basics. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited about our upcoming event. We're going to be talking about moving beyond the basics. Once you master the basics, you're now in a position to accelerate at a pace far greater than those who have not mastered the basics. Once you've mastered the basics, you're now ready to step into a level of success that you've never experienced before. And so at the Get Radical Conference, we're going to be talking about, first of all, have you mastered the basics? And we're going to have some assessments there, some self-reflection exercises where you can really get to the core of what your basics actually look like. And are you meeting them consistently to show that you're ready to move beyond the basics? And so you don't want to miss our time together, the Get Radical Conference happening March 20th through 22nd in Atlanta, Georgia. We have women coming from all across the country to join us for this event. And yes, it's a women's conference, but there are a few men who will be joining us as well. So men, if you want to, come on in and get some of this good content, you are welcome to join us. And so listen, I'm going to jump off now, but I want to encourage you, master the basics so that you can position yourself for next level success. So until next time, be radical and let me know what's your biggest takeaway and what are you going to master when it comes to your basics. All right, guys, see you next time.